What's up everyone, and welcome back to the channel. If you're a programmer, a student learning to code, or even a seasoned developer, you know that your laptop is your most important tool. It's your digital workbench, your creative space, and your gateway to building the next big thing. But with so many options out there, how do you choose the perfect one? It can feel overwhelming, right? Well, you've come to the right place. Today, we're diving deep into the best laptops for coding and programming in 2026. We'll break down everything you need to consider, from performance and portability to keyboards and operating systems. By the end of this video, you'll have a crystal clear idea of which laptop will be your perfect coding companion. So, grab your coffee, get comfortable, and let's find your next machine. First things first, let's talk about what actually matters in a programming laptop. It's not just about raw power. The first key component is the CPU, or the processor. This is the brain of your laptop. For most coding tasks, like web development or scripting, an Intel Core i5 or an AMD Ryzen 5 is more than enough. They offer a great balance of performance and price. However, if you're into more demanding tasks like compiling large code bases, running virtual machines, or game development, you'll want to step it up in that case. Look for an Intel Core i7, an i9, or an AMD Ryzen 7 or Ryzen 9. These processors have more cores and higher clock speeds, which will significantly cut down your waiting time and boost your productivity. The new Apple M series chips, like the M2, M3, and their Pro or Max versions are also fantastic choices, offering incredible performance and efficiency, especially for Mac-based development. Next up is RAM, or Random Access Memory. Think of RAM as your laptop's short-term memory. It's where your applications, code editor, browser tabs, and operating system all live while you're working. Have you ever noticed your computer slowing down when you have too many things open? That's usually a RAM issue. For basic coding, 8 GB of RAM is the absolute minimum these days. It'll get the job done. But for a smooth, frustration-free experience, I highly recommend going for at least 16 GB. This gives you plenty of headroom to run multiple applications, a local server, and maybe even a virtual machine without your system grinding to a halt. If you're a power user working on large-scale projects, data science or Android development with the emulator, 32 GB or even 64 GB is the sweet spot. More RAM means better multitasking, which is a programmer's best friend. Now let's talk about storage. You have two main options here, a hard disk drive, or HDD, and a solid-state drive, or SSD. Let me make this simple for you. Always choose an SSD, always. HDDs are old technology. They're mechanical, which makes them slow. An SSD, on the other hand, has no moving parts. This means your laptop will boot up in seconds, your applications will launch instantly, and files will transfer in a flash. The difference in speed and responsiveness is night and day. It's probably the single biggest quality of life improvement you can make to your computing experience. As for capacity, 256 GB is a starting point, but you'll fill that up surprisingly fast with development tools, project files, and system updates. I'd suggest aiming for at least 512 GB. 1 TB SSD is even better and gives you plenty of space to grow without worrying about storage management. Okay, let's move on to something you'll be interacting with constantly, the keyboard. As a programmer, you're going to be typing thousands upon thousands of lines of code. A bad keyboard can lead to discomfort, typos, and even strain. A great keyboard, on the other hand, is a joy to use. What makes a keyboard great? Look for good key travel, which is the distance the key moves when you press it. You want a satisfying tactile feel, not something mushy or flat. Backlighting is also a must-have for those late-night coding sessions. The layout is important too, so make sure it's standard and comfortable for you. The best advice I can give is to try out the keyboard in person if you can. Go to a store and just type on a few different models. Your fingers will tell you which one is right. Don't underestimate the importance of a great keyboard. It's a critical part of the developer experience. And what about the screen? You'll be staring at it for hours on end, so it needs to be good. The first thing to consider is screen size. A 13-inch laptop is super portable and great for working on the go. However, a larger 15 or 16-inch screen gives you more space to have multiple windows open side by side, like your code editor and a browser, which can really boost productivity. Resolution is also key. A full HD display, that's 1920 by 1080 pixels, is the minimum you should accept. It provides sharp text and a clear image. A higher resolution display, like a QHD or 4K screen, will make text even crisper and easier to read, which can reduce eye strain over long periods. Also, pay attention to brightness and color accuracy. A bright, color-accurate screen just makes everything look better and is easier on your eyes, especially if you're doing any front-end design work alongside your coding. Now for the big debate. Which operating system is best, Windows, macOS, or Linux? Honestly, there's no single right answer here. It really depends on your personal preference and what you're developing. Windows is the most popular OS in the world, so it has the widest hardware and software compatibility. With the Windows subsystem for Linux, or WSL, it's become a very powerful environment for developers. giving you a Linux terminal right inside Windows. macOS, found on Apple's MacBooks, is famous for its user-friendly interface and polished design. It's built on a Unix-like foundation, which makes it a favorite for web and mobile developers, especially if you're building apps for the iPhone or iPad. Since you need macOS to use Xcode, then there's Linux. It's open source, highly customizable, and a powerhouse for developers, especially for server-side and back-end work. Many developers end up running Linux on a Windows or Mac machine anyway. My advice: if you don't have a strong preference, any of them will work. If you're developing for Apple's ecosystem, you need a Mac. Otherwise, choose the one you feel most comfortable and productive with. Alright, with all that theory out of the way, let's get to the exciting part. My top recommendations for 2026. Let's start with the best overall choice for most programmers: the Apple MacBook Air with the M2 or M3 chip. It's incredibly thin and light, has phenomenal battery life, and the M-series chips are absolute powerhouses. They handle compiling code and running multiple apps without breaking a sweat, and it does all this while being completely silent because it has no fan. The display is beautiful, the keyboard is fantastic, and macOS is a joy for development. A model with 16 gigs of RAM and a 512GB SSD is the perfect configuration for the vast majority of coders out there. It's a truly amazing machine that balances power, portability, and user experience perfectly. But what if you need more power? If you're a professional developer working on really demanding projects, or you just want the best of the best, then look no further than the Apple MacBook Pro 14 or 16-inch. These are the MacBook Air's bigger, more powerful siblings. They come with the M3 Pro or M3 Max chips, which are some of the fastest laptop processors on the planet. They also feature the best displays you can find on a laptop, more ports, and an even better speaker system. You can configure them with massive amounts of RAM and storage. Yes, they are expensive, but if your livelihood depends on your laptop's performance and you need to save every possible second on compile times and builds, the investment is absolutely worth it. This is the peak of mobile workstation performance. Okay, let's switch over to the Windows side of things. My top pick for a Windows-based programming laptop is the Dell XPS 15. The XPS line has been a favorite among developers for years, and for good reason. It offers a premium build quality that rivals Apple, a stunning optional old 4K display, and a super comfortable keyboard and trackpad. You can configure it with powerful Intel Core Ultra processors and a dedicated NVIDIA graphics card, which is great if you're also into machine learning, data science, or a bit of gaming on the side. It's a sleek, powerful, and reliable machine that's perfect for any developer who prefers the Windows ecosystem. It's the closest you'll get to a MacBook of Windows, and it's a fantastic choice. Finally, what if you're on a tighter budget? You don't need to spend a fortune to get a great coding laptop. A fantastic budget-friendly option is the Lenovo ThinkPad series, specifically something like the E14 or E16. ThinkPads are legendary for having the best keyboards in the business, period. They are also known for their durability and reliability. You can find configurations with modern Ryzen or Intel processors, 16 gigs of RAM, and a 512GB SSD for a very reasonable price. It might not have the flashy design of a MacBook or an XPS, but it's a no-nonsense workhorse that will serve you well for years. It's a practical, smart choice for students or anyone who values function over form and wants the best bang for their buck. So there you have it, a complete guide to choosing the best laptop for coding and programming in 2026. To recap, prioritize a fast SSD and at least 16 GB of RAM. Choose a CPU that matches your workload. And don't forget the importance of a great keyboard and a comfortable high-resolution screen. Whether you go for the all-around excellence of the MacBook Air, the raw power of the MacBook Pro, the premium Windows experience of the Dell XPS, or the budget-friendly reliability of a Lenovo ThinkPad, you're making a great choice. The best laptop for you is the one that fits your needs, your budget, and your workflow. I hope this video helped clear things up for you. If it did, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more content like this. Let me know in the comments which laptop you're using or planning to get. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy coding!